Assalamualaikum and good day. In this video, our group will be discussing about what we have learned in chapter 2 and 6 with two movies which are Mulan and Joy.
My name is Umi Ailisha binti Muhammad Rafiq, student number 2021849294. For today, I will be talking about the movie Mulan, which was released in 2020. It is a film about Hua Mulan, a fearless young woman who disguises herself as a man to keep her ailing father from serving in the imperial army and battles the northern invaders in China. The topic of what errors do we make in our perceptions, what I can identify from this movie is stereotyping and prejudice. In the scene of the last dinner, before Mulan's father was supposed to go to the war, her father said, "Learn your place." It is because he previously said that a man's honor lies in the battlefield for his family and his country, whereas for a woman, her honor lies within a marriage. In this movie, it was obvious to see how a woman is perceived in the society. The movie demonstrated how women were expected to be prepared for marriage because that is the only way a woman could bring honor to her family. Based on my observations, this kind of stereotyping and prejudice still happens in today's society. How a woman's place is in the kitchen and she is expected to remain in the kitchen and in the household only. A woman does not even need to be highly educated because they are expected to be a housewife anyways. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is not how we should perceive women. Nevertheless, the movie did prove how a woman are capable of so much more than what is being stereotyped for them if they are given the chance. Or even as Hua Mulan did it, she took her chance. She became a strong and fearless, independent woman that does not need any man.
How do you present yourself? Self-presentation is the way we portray our ideal self-image and one of the aspects of impression management. Identity management is control information about a wide range of subjects, including the information of on other people or events. Now, let's relate with the main character in Mulan, which is Mulan. In this movie, Mulan is an adventurous, playful girl. However, she was considered a disappointment and bring dishonor to her family. Due to her parents' command, she obeys them to marry a guy and receive a training to become a wife. She then had to hide her true gender the whole time when she decided to take place instead of her father because the China emperor issues one man per family to serve the country. But Mulan's father is the only male member in the family. Days after days of training, she fully fit in with the rest of the men. We can see that the character Mulan has a good identity management. The way she quickly adjusts and control her personality in every situation. She can present different aspects to different audience. A part of that, the issues here is why character does that. First, within her family, she had to refrain herself from showing her family the behavior she perceived herself, which a wild active girl. Because it is their tradition for a daughter to be an elegant woman and a good wife to marriages. Not only that, but she had to adapt to the way of living as a man in the army. Why? Clearly because women are prohibited, but she had no choice but to do it to prevent her father or to protect her father from going to the army training. Now that's what happened in the movie Mulan. What about in our real life? I remember when I was an intern during my diploma studies. It is the first time I'm entering a formal setting. That's when I started to manage my identity. I realized I need to be firmer and communicate maturely when socialize with my coworker. Unlike my playful personality, like when I'm hanging out with my friends, if I use that personality, they would think I'm not serious enough to work on my intern. Identity management doesn't necessarily mean we are being two-faced or lying to other people. Identity management involves deciding which face to reveal depending upon the situation. It is for control what we present and what audience sees. This is convenient to living up to our social status, occurred by manners, appearance, and settings.
Joy is basically a story of a family across 4 generations, centered on a creative girl who has a dream of inventing her own innovation. She fought herself into the business world, facing a lot of betrayal and deceit. In the end, Joy becomes a true boss of family and enterprise in a world of unforgiving commerce. Hi, Assalamualaikum. Now you are with me, Izan Anjana binti Al-Akbar. We're going to talk about friendship in the movie Joy. While being a very clever girl since she was little, Joy has a very complicated life with her personal and family problems, such as a poor relationship with her sister, her dad, who barely takes her feelings into account, her own mom being lazy, and the fact that her ex-husband still lives in her basement. She has to take care of her kids, her mother, her grandmother, her dad, and also her ex-husband. That's insane. Her house was chaotic. Despite all of the difficulties that she was facing, she still managed to maintain such strong friendships with her friends. Joy is a very loving, caring, and supportive person. Same goes for her friends. Joy has an amazing circle of friends. Even though she only has a couple of buddies, that did not stop her from socializing and communicating her feelings. When Joy was down and struggling, her childhood friend Jakey came to visit to see if Joy was alright. But it turned out that she was having doubts about taking care of everybody else, while Joy herself was not taken care of properly. She couldn't focus on herself anymore. So Jakey gave Joy some advice and calmed her down. Joy came to realize that she should chase her own dream, which is to create and sell her invention, which is a self-ringing mop. She finally decided to ask her dad and her ex-husband to move out from her basement and focus on her dream. Jakey was very supportive throughout this process. Not only that, when Joy was battling to advertise her invention live on television and no one was interested to buy her mop, Jakey was the one who called Joy on television and pretended to be a fascinated customer. She helped Joy to be more confident on TV, advertising her own product. Luckily, with Jakey's help, almost 50,000 units of mops were sold during the show. This shows that friends should help each other out when they are in need. We need to be sympathetic towards our friends because in the end, they would also be the ones who would help us out. For instance, if your friend is short on money to pay her food, just lend her a few dollars. She will surely appreciate and cherish it forever. And maybe who knows, she will pay for your next meal, or maybe she will buy you something special to repay your kindness. Other than that, Joy's ex-husband Tony was also her friend despite their divorce. Mimi, Joy's grandmother, said that they are the best divorced couple ever. They were still best friends even though they are not together anymore. When Joy had problems with advertising her invention by herself, Tony was the one who offered to help in most cases, but Joy's dad was not happy with it. In spite of that, Tony insisted on helping and introduced Joy to one of his friends, Neil, who is one of the biggest managers of Kmart. And he is the one who approves what products can be sold in convenience store. Tony tried his hardest to get Joy to meet Neil to help her to promote her mop. Even though they did not end up being together, Tony is still a great friend. This proves that we can still be kind towards others no matter what happened in the past. For example, we might have some friends that we are not close with anymore, maybe because of some conflicts, some dramas. But we shouldn't hold grudges towards them.
Instead, we should appreciate and remember their good gestures. Maintaining friendship is really important because it helps you to boost your happiness and also reduce your stress. When you have friends, you can communicate with them and talk to them and express your feelings. It can help you to lessen your burden and calm you down.
Now, I'm going to present about motivation in initiating, maintaining, and terminating relationship found in the movie Joy. Let's start with motivation in initiating a relationship, which can be seen at the scene between Joy and Tony. For Joy and Tony, I have detected 3 possible motivations to initiate a relationship between them, which are attractiveness, responsiveness, and similarity. The first one is attractiveness. The first time they met was at a party where Joy was invited by Jackie. And there she saw Tony singing merrily with his father, and Joy was obviously attracted with him as she actually asked Jackie for his name. And next scene rolled in and they were both dancing happily together. Next is responsiveness. It can be seen in this scene where they were discussing a very profound topic, specifically about their future dreams. They were both giving positive response to each other, which had kept the conversation going smoothly. Other than that, similarity is also a motivation in their newly initiated relationship, as they both share the same passion with pursuing their own dreams, invention for Joy and singing for Tony. And those 3 were the motivations for initiating relationship between Joy and Tony. To compare with myself, I often initiate a relationship with those who share the same similarities with me, as it makes it easier for conversation to flow. There are a lot in common between me and my closest friends, like our hobbies, our favorite shows, and even our favorite artists. Let's move on to motivation in maintaining relationships. This occurred during the post-divorcement between Joy and Tony, and the motivation in maintaining their relationship is satisfying relationship. As they have 2 children who needs loving from both their mother and father, Tony offered his help in taking care of the children when Joy was busy with work, and in exchange, he got to stay at their basement since he still had no job with stable income. It was mutual, and both of them have something benefiting them, thus a satisfying relationship was created. Plus, it was also narrated by Joy's grandmother that they were both better off as friends instead of husband and wife. Lastly is motivations in terminating relationship. For Joy and Tony's marriage, the motivation to terminate it was argumentativeness. Tony being jobless and Joy being the breadwinner of the family is what caused the fight between them. The movie only showed 1 scene of them fighting, but for Joy to call the marriage off should have hinted to their endless arguments prior to that scene. Gable and Gosnell, 2013, stated that when avoidant social motivation is high, the less satisfied someone is with their life, and the loneliness and the negative feelings in the social relationships will keep getting stronger. Thus, the negative feelings they had with each other then finally led to their divorcement. I don't have a similar experience with Joy, but if I were to be in a relationship that consists of fighting all day long, I will also end the relationship because I cannot stand being emotionally drained all day after fighting, and it is best that we both freed ourselves from that relationship. With that, we have finished presenting the topics found in the movie Joy and Mulan, and this is the list of reference that we use in our presentation. That's all from us. Thank you for listening.